Okay, so I'm already in the Zoom link if you want to connect. Let's see. Yeah, this is the email you should receive, Fadi. Do you see? Referência de língua, aulas. Every email you receive from this, you should translate and see what it means. Could be something important. 99% of the times it's not, but. Okay, so PSR. So today we are going to work on part 2. I did many of these exercises in class already, in the TP class. So I don't know, for example, in this morning's practical class, people had many other problems, for example, like configuring PyCharm, this kind of stuff. So if you have this kind of problems, this is the time to ask, and don't be shy to ask, and we try to help. Besides that, we should work on these exercises, and you should be able to do them. If you already have successfully completed those, I will figure out some challenges that you can do. But for now, perhaps I wait for you to ask me for help, at least for a while. This should work the other way around. So you say what you need from me in these classes, rather than the other way around. So where do you need help for now? Let's say, for example, configuration, PyCharm, this kind of stuff. Anyone has issues with it?
Yes.
What do you need?
I don't understand the changing of first the workspace.
You don't understand the changing of the workspaces?
Yeah, while I'm working, I don't know what should I do. Like when I'm on my PyCharm, open down. How can I say? Like, what can I say? Like compile
The code.
Yeah.
So Python is not compilable. You don't compile Python code. You just run it. It is called interpreted language.
Yeah, PyCharm, the same application, I need editor or all this stuff.
No, PyCharm can replace both the editor as well as the executioner. So you could run the code from PyCharm directly. I recommend that you do so in the terminal instead. So in fact, you are using PyCharm just to change the code, so to write the contents of the file, and then you run that file in the terminal on the side, for example. Like I did in the TP class, didn't you see? The TP class, so, I'm sorry, Khalid. So what I do typically is I launch PyCharm, right, and then I put PyCharm on the left-hand side, the terminal on the right-hand side, and so in here you are programming. That means you are editing the contents of the file or files, which is your code, and here you run the code. You could do it all inside PyCharm, but I prefer that you run it in the terminal, so you learn more stuff that we will need in the future. I'm not sure I understood your question.
Yeah, so that's my question.
This.
I don't understand, should I do the terminal or?
Try to use terminal for running the code, yeah. Because with Roche, we are going to need it, so might as well get used to it right now. So you configured PyCharm, no problem, it works. Great. More people. By the way, are you using repositories already from GitHub or not? Not yet? I can show you how and how to integrate that with PyCharm. So you can see that I have a repository here, which is called PSR. That's where we have the PDFs and the code for the, by the way, you already have in part 2, the code from this morning's class here, in case you want to take a look. This is my repository, not mine, from the course. When you are doing the exercises, you should put them also in a repository so that you can practice. So how can you do this? First, of course, you have to register in GitHub. And now, in order to create a repository, you go to repositories, then you put new, and you do something like test PSR repo, okay? And you say, for example, that you want a README and a git ignore for Python. So if you create this repository, you will have a repository with two files, the file called .readme, .gitignore, and the file readme.md. This is your repository. This is where you're going to put your code. So, but right now it is only in the cloud. It is not in your local computer. So when you have a repository in the cloud created in the GitHub interface, in order to bring it to your local computer, you need to do what is called a clone. So you figure out where you want to put this code. That depends on you. For example, for me, if we are talking about non-ROS code, I put it in working copy. So I'm going to put this repository, I'm going to create a local copy of the repository. For that, I do git clone and the URL that I just copied before. So when I run this git clone, it just downloaded the repository and created a local copy, which is now here, test PSR repo. Okay, so this is my repository. It seems as if I only have the file readme.md locally, whereas in the cloud I have two files, also the .gitignore. In fact, I have both here. What's happening is that the terminal doesn't show hidden files which start with a dot. In order to see those, I have to do ls-la. So now I see the .gitignore file. Also, I see a folder, blue is folder, called .git. This is the folder where Git stores information on how to manage the versions. So this is stuff for Git. We just don't touch it, let it be where it is. Actually, that's why it's hidden. That's why it starts with a dot, so we don't see it. So that diminishes the probability of us messing around with it. Okay, so now we have two files on the cloud and two files on the locally. What can we do? For example, we can go to PyCharm and connect to this repository. So I'm going to turn off PyCharm and start it again. Okay, so I'm going to close this project. And now I'm here in the initial page of PyCharm. So I go open. And now I find the repository I just cloned. That would be in working copy, test something. Where is test? Okay, test PSR repo. Here it is. Okay, so now PyCharm is not just doing code editing, it is also integrating with GitHub. So now I can, from my local copy, do some changes and then push them to the cloud. Let's see how. For example, I can, in the README file, add some text. I was missing this text, for example, okay? Now we have locally that sentence, I was missing this text, but not remotely. So you don't see the sentence here in the README because I didn't synchronize yet. There are two types of synchronization depending on the direction that we are synchronizing from and to. If we are doing from local to the cloud, it is we have two commands, which I usually do all together, which is a commit and a push, okay? So I commit and push. This is what I'm going to do now. I press this green button. For this, I need a message. I am adding a nonsense sentence, okay? And now, in order for me to do the two steps all together, I have to go here to this arrow and I do a commit and push all together. Okay, commit. And right now I'm doing the synchronization from the local to the cloud, which actually is finished now. So I can go here, refresh, and you can see that my readme.md file now contains the additional contents I added, okay? I can do this. It's not just this, I can also add some stuff. For example, I can add a folder called A1, class 1, a new folder called EX1, and inside a new folder, for example, a new Python file called main.py. I did it so fast that when I added a new file, let me add a new file so that you see what happened. For example, main2.py. When I added this file, it actually detected that there is a new file here and asked me, do you want this file to be in Git? Okay, what he is asking is basically if the file is to be included in the repository or not. If so, whenever I push the changes, this file will be there also in the cloud. Even if I don't say anything here, now I can see there is a main.py in green. That means it's included in the repository. And there is a main2.py in brown. That means it is not going to be included. If I want to include it, I can also go right-hand side button on top of the file, git add. All right, now both are green. If I push, I will push with the same message. Now we have also here a folder which then contains a folder which then will contain the two files we added. Okay, here they are. So this is how you synchronize from the local to the cloud. The way to do this the other way around, for example, for that test, I would need to change something in the cloud. That could be, for example, if Manel adds something. Manel, can you add something here? For example, oh, you don't have it, right? I can do it easily. Manel, I can do it more easily here. So there is an interface here where I can just edit the file directly in the cloud. And so I can just say, I wrote this in the cloud, okay? So now there was a change in the cloud. I need to pick up this change to my local copy. The way to do that is with a pool, which in PyCharm is called update. So the blue arrow, I always do merge and say don't ask again. So, okay, updated. Now, if we take a look at the README file, it says I wrote this in the cloud, okay? So this is how you integrate. What I would expect is that you have in a PyCharm project where you have both the PSR code, so because sometimes you want to copy from one project to the other, you should have also the PSR code. So how can you do that? The same as we did here. You go to the course is PSR, and you are going to do a clone. So for example, here also in working copy, you clone, okay? It takes a long time because it's bigger. No, I did git clone. Here, take a look at the command, it's here. Do you want me to put this larger? Better? Okay. Okay, so now we have also this PSR. So I have two folders, each a repository. One of those, I'm only going to read it because this is the courses repository. The other one is mine where I put my exercises. So I'm going to read and write from it. And now I can have this PyCharm project containing both repositories. If I go to open, and then I select the PSR code, which is here, okay? And now he asks, okay, do you want to throw away the previous project and just create a new one? Or do you want to create a new window, or do you want to attach? The attach is the best one, because with the attach, now you can see both. Now you have access to your code and also to the code from PSR, okay? For example, I want to start doing exercise 3, but I know that the professor today in the TP class did exercise 3. So let me start from where he finished. So I go here, exercise 3, Primus. Okay, so let me copy this here. Control, now you see a plus, you drop it. Okay, so now we have a good start for our exercise 3, you see? Now you can change this. Of course, you cannot change mine. I mean, you can, but it's not going to work. You should copy first to yours, because yours is the read and writable repository. Mine is read only for you. And that's it. Now you start writing whatever you want in this code, for example. Was it clear? Any questions? How many people are online? Can you hear me properly? I don't hear anyone here. Is there anyone online or not?
Sim, sim.
Ah, consegue me ouvir?
Sim, sim, consigo.
Ok. Oh, Rodrigo, você não era aquele que estava com problemas a semana passada?
Sim, para já está tudo bom.
Ok. Hoje de manhã também correu bem, por isso vamos ver se era só uma questão de...
Eu hoje de manhã estava aí e correu bem, mas pronto.
Ok.
Agora estou em casa.
De qualquer maneira, se começar a correr mal, avise, está bem? Para termos noção.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how you integrate PyCharm with GitHub. Any other things that you need? What else do you need? So did you all do exercise number? Let me try to go here, part 2. So we are, okay, exercise 1 is just the continuation of what we did last week, so I'm not going to talk about that. We'll look at it. Then exercise 2 is about doing the documentation, so also I will skip it. You should prepare these exercises at home, as I told you, and we speak about them if you ask me something, otherwise we just proceed. And now exercise 3, 4, and 5, I did them in the TP class. So if nobody has questions, I can just launch a couple of challenges. No questions, nothing. Okay, so I have a challenge for you. In 4C, you remember exercise 4C? I will run it here for you. Exercise 4, I have to throw away this because this was just for me to explain to you. So I'm going to take away this and I'm going to remove blah, blah, blah. And I'm also going to do some house cleaning because I don't want these repositories to stay here. Otherwise, so rm psr, this is to delete what I just created to show you. Rm test blah, 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 minus rf. Okay. So I was saying, let's go to this week, was it exercise 4 or? It was 4, yeah. So in exercise 4 here, that's where I was, I have here 4b, which was to read all characters up to an x. Let's run this. This is what I just did this morning. So perhaps you can remember it more or less clearly, vividly. Let's just go there. So, okay, so I'm going to type A, B, C, D, E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, F, okay? Now X. As we saw this morning, we can print the list of characters that have been entered, the list of numeric characters, keys, and the list of others. And, oh, come on, I already have the color text. I don't want to show you this. Please don't look at this because this is what I want to ask you. What, did you memorize? Come on. Okay, good. So you saw what happened? What happened was that I have these characters as input. I want to pick up only the others, so the non-numerics, and then I want to print them all together in a string, which changes color from character to character, okay? So that's the challenge. Try to do the changes that are necessary to go here. So if you have nothing to do, now you do. No problem. Go ahead.
Because I'm registered on another technical class, so I have to change.
In your case, you are registered on P3, no? I think on Wednesday. Send me an email and I will ask the secretary of that to change. It's better. I don't know what happens to my Zoom. It just stops working. Ay, ay, ay. Wait. Ó, Lucas, se puder partilhei o ecrã, porque eu já estou outra vez bloqueado.
Está bem, está bem.
Obrigado. É que não consigo sair daqui.
Já
Obrigado. Agora já
está.
partilho outra vez. Deixa estar.
Consegue? Sim.
Já está, já está. Obrigado. Não sou eu. Será que sou eu? Desculpa. Okay, everyone is very silent, so I give you 10 minutes, then I ask someone on how they try to color the characters, to do a colored text. Yeah, I can tell you where you should start all the time, and then you go there. So, for example, your starting point is always e-learning for any course in UA, at UA. Then you have to select the course, of course. So this is your starting point. So here you have the Zoom links, the recordings, and also the link to the GitHub repository. So if you go here, you will have part 1, part 2, and this is dynamic. This will be increasing every week. In this week, we are working on part 2. This is not necessarily a one-to-one mapping, so sometimes you can be on week 5 working on part 7. I will tell you where. Typically the latest. So right now we are working on part 2. And in this morning's class, the TP class, theoretical practical class, I wrote some exercises. I did some of the exercises, number 3 and 4. And I just put the code here that I did in the class, which you can search here. So you can either go here and take a look, or you can, as I did, download, clone the repository, and then access it directly here in the PSR, local copy, whatever you prefer.
Okay.
De nada. I think someone has the microphone on. I think it's Lucas. Lucas, if you can cut your microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Problem. It's because I hear echo. So let me see how many people are in the class. If someone calls me, do you have the phone? Ninguém tem os fones? Deixa-me pôr aqui. Ia dar um passeio, mas...
Master, aqui pode-me repetir o comando para fazer clone do Git, do seu repositório? O
Melhor
comando para...
How to clone Git.
Já pesquisei, mas não consegui encontrar ainda.
Sério?
Sim, eu faço como lá está e não dá. Já tive que importar
Ok, então deixa-me
instalar o Git.
porque a lógica era vir aqui ao repositório, por exemplo, o PSR. Depois, das duas uma, você vem aqui a este botão verde e copia esta parte, ou faz diretamente esta. Copy. E depois o comando, você tem primeiro que ir para o sítio que quer, por exemplo, eu vou fazer isto no desktop agora, é git, espaço clone, espaço, o link.
Eu fiz isso, mas não dá. Deve ser porque eu não estou em nenhum sítio, acho eu. Estou mesmo no...
Em algum sítio tem que estar. Ora, partilha lá o seu ecrã, Rodrigo.
Estava aqui...
Então,
Fiz este.
git
Fiz
clone.
isto, só que eu aqui... Este não, estava aqui. E eu já fiz aqui este comando.
Agora
Só que eu
faça
tenho
ali.
aqui uma pasta.
Tem o quê? Desculpe.
Depois ele está, peraí.
Eu não sei onde é que você está. Você está numa consola especial.
Não, eu copiei aqui um pedaço de código porque pensava que tinha outra coisa copiada e aí
Você não está no terminal, porque está a ver que o terminal é quando você tem ali umas... Ups. É quando tem ali uns dólares. Pronto, agora sim, faça o git clone. Mas não sei se é aqui que você quer. Onde é que você quer pôr o seu repositório?
Depois eu queria meter na pasta.
Ok, então vá lá para a pasta primeiro. O P é grande. O P é grande.
É isto. Criar aqui.
É que é?
Pronto,
Então,
agora faço o clone.
não, tem que dizer o
Não,
git espaço clone. Vou-lhe dar uma dica, Rodrigo. Quando você... Ora volte lá, por favor. Quando você quer selecionar tudo, não tem que pôr o rato da direita para a esquerda ou da esquerda para a direita para selecionar tudo. Você, por exemplo, em qualquer sítio, carregue no R do Miguel 3 vezes. Tic, tic, tic. Ali
no R do Miguel.
carregue 3 vezes em cima do R do Miguel, por exemplo. Se carregar 3 vezes, ele seleciona a linha toda. É mais fácil do que estar a ir da esquerda para a direita e depois esquece sempre do que está mais à direita.
Eu se fizer aqui Ctrl V não dá. Isto é preciso instalar alguma coisa.
Ctrl Shift V.
É Shift, ok. Pronto, não sabia. Acho que já está.
Já está a copiar, ainda vai demorar porque é grande. Pronto.
É isso, pronto. Obrigado.
Nada. Sara, é você que me vai mostrar aqui o texto com cores? Onde é que você anda? Diga-me lá. Podemos fazer consigo? Você partilha connosco? Só no final, quando estiver... Partilhe, porque é assim, mais do que ver a coisa quando estiver a funcionar, dá jeito de ver como é que você está a pensar. Acho que eles aprendem consigo. Mas partilha o ecrã, que é para vermos onde é que você está a olhar. E se calhar é melhor ligar o microfone, que é para os que estão lá em casa a ouvirem. Ah, ok. A Sara está a ganhar tempo neste momento. Ainda não está. Esses são wireless, não são? São Bluetooth. Eu comprei uns Bluetooth, não consegui habituar-me porque estou sempre a ouvir pipi, pipi, faz uma confusão os Bluetooth. Ok. Pois é, dá sempre uma confusão. Mas eu consegui, só que aquilo estava com um ruído de alta frequência que eu não consigo dar-me cabo dos ouvidos e da cabeça. Não encontrou os fones? Às vezes eles já estão ligados, por exemplo, ao telemóvel, por isso não... Ora, veja lá se tem Bluetooth no telemóvel. E já carregou naquela cena do andar à procura, no Bluetooth, do scan? Está a procurar no computador, mas o Bluetooth dos fones está... Se calhar tem que... Modernices, pá, modernices. Por isso é que eu gosto dos fios. Com cabos não há cá... Está bem. Então pronto, você faz o exercício 5. Já estou... A Sara já ganhou mais tempo ainda, como podem ver. Anyone else wants to try to solve the challenge of color text here now? Even if you haven't completed it yet, you can continue. You cannot? So please... Try share your screen. And if you can, turn on your microphone so people at home hear you. Typically, all the screen is better. Because then I will ask you to turn on a terminal and we need to see it as well. Okay, so can you turn on the microphone, if possible? Okay, this is Windows, not Linux. You're still going to install
Linux? I didn't try to install Linux.
You didn't like, you said?
Yeah, I don't have Linux, so.
But if you don't, you cannot complete the course. You need to install it.
All right,
yeah.
right.
So you will need to install it because now you can still use Python, in Windows, but when we get to ROS, it doesn't work in Windows.
I see.
So you will need to install. You don't have to throw away Windows, just install it with dual boot.
Okay, like a virtual machine, yeah?
It's not recommended. Yeah. Read the slides, the initial slides where it says part 1. It says there are instructions there for installing Linux and which options are recommended.
Okay.
Read those first, and then if you have some questions, we can discuss.
All right.
Now, about this, you were having problems. Yeah, how it seems like I never used Python in Linux, so I don't know.
All right, all right.
Okay, so even if I don't, I couldn't help you.
Okay.
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 I know.
Yes.
He has an appointment with a group of volunteers at the university to install Linux.
Okay.
You can just check it out.
Or you can ask me.
Or you can
okay.
Yeah, he also did it, and I think it worked fine.
Okay, okay.
So this part, I don't know. I know that in Windows you need to install some Anaconda package. I never use it, so I don't know.
All right. I see. Okay.
So basically, the message is this. Do you really want to program robotic systems? So use Linux. There is no Windows professionally programming. Robotic systems in Windows is really not the worst case scenario. Might as well use Linux. You will enjoy. At first it's difficult, but then I think you will enjoy. Sarah, do we have some headphones or not yet? No microphone yet? But you are with your microphone disconnected here in Zoom, so perhaps.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it works now. Good. So let's try to look at your code if you want. Okay. So the goal, let me remind you, the goal was to write the text that we have input, only the non-numeric characters and those with alternating colors, right? That was, okay. So what did you think, Sarah? How did you think?
I'm still doing it, but I'm thinking of doing a list with random colors from Colorama, and then of the length of the list, I use the random colors that the list generated.
Makes sense. So how did you try to do that in the code? So what was the list first? The list of characters is which one?
It's the one that I'm still doing. That I was going to look in the net,
Okay.
but it's
You go to Colorama, to the 4.
na foto aqui. Foto.
So for example, Colorama, you need to import, but you don't know
Sim.
how. So you just go, can you go back? Just go with your cursor, go on top of Colorama. So it should be blinking on top of Colorama. No, not there, below, where you were before.
É que eu não estou.
And you are going to use PyCharm for help. So go there, yeah, and there you can just type Alt-Enter. Alt-Enter. The key Alt combined with Enter. No, but the cursor must be on top of Colorama.
Ah.
Okay, now Alt-Enter. Did you put
Ah,
Alt-Enter? Okay, now you have several options. Now you go to import this name. Colorama, yeah, that's it. So what did PyCharm automatically do? Up there, on the beginning of the file, it just said import Colorama. Can you check? See? It just put import Colorama. So it solved the problem. Okay, now if you go down, let's see. Okay, so now we have colors. Can you just print the list of colors so we can see? I think it's better, baby steps, step by step. So let's just see the colors first. So either exit there or comment what comes next. In PyCharm, you can select with shift going down, you can select multiple lines and then control dash to comment multiple lines instead of one by one. Okay. So you are
Ok, eu esqueci-me de qual era o que eu cliquei no início.
Mas esqueceu?
Muito
What did you forget?
Esqueci-me. Eu não me lembro.
Mas de quê? De quê? Não se lembra de quê?
Do char que eu comecei.
E o char com que você começou é aquele que é para fechar?
Sim.
Ah, é? Eu não sei qual é. Não será o X maior ou o X maiúsculo?
Não, eu coloquei o para ser o que eu voltei do início.
Okay, so she did a very nice addition, which was the first key she presses is the one that is going to be installed at the end. But then she started the program, she forgot to remember the first key she pressed. So now she doesn't know how to exit. You can just shut down the terminal and start a new one.
Sim.
That is what I call an unwanted addition. Okay, now yes. Remember where you press. Okay, so you have a list of colors there. I think it works. Remember, we were just printing the colors, right? On line 17.
Yes.
These characters here, dash, X, 1B, bracket, square bracket, 30, these are special codes that the terminal understands as codes to change the color. So this is what Colorama actually produces when we put Colorama.for red, for example. Okay, so you seem to be on the good path. So now how are you going to proceed?
Agora, eu primeiro pensei em fazer a lista, para ver a lista de others, e fazer print com o número de cores, mas não sei se isto funciona, fazer o back.colors de...
Back.colors? What do you mean by back.colors? Não, não funciona.
Porque nós costumamos fazer backpoint yellow, acho que é fora.
Oh, don't worry about the background. Let's just use the for. The list is already of 4 values. So I think you can just put the if element of the list there. So you can just say colors I. That's it.
Color. É só preciso fazer assim?
I think, but it's not parentheses, it's square brackets. Because it's the if element of list colors. So it's not colors parentheses I, it's colors square brackets I. Line 73.
Os meus fones não estão a funcionar como... Não estão a funcionar como... Para ouvir, então... Está-me a... Teacher, can you repeat? I didn't listen.
Yes, I'm going here trying to, sorry, I was just trying to draw to make it easier. What I said was that on line 73, you have colors, parentheses, I, and it should be colors, square brackets, I, parênteses retos, em vez de parênteses, porque, para dizer que é um ingresso.
Sim.
Square brackets is to go pick up some element of the list. Also, you have the same problem in 73. Further to the right, you have the same problem. Yeah. Okay, let's see if it works now. Colors print. So, this object is not reachable.
Estou a fazer arranjo.
I think you cannot, on the for cycle, you cannot place the len function.
Yeah, you have to do a range between 0 and len. So you have to do range, parentheses, 0, comma, len.
Yes.
That's it. That's it, sir. Let's see now. Can you please put the terminal on the right hand side instead of in front of the code? I really just put it on the right, because on the right we are not seeing anything of importance. You can, if you could do it like me, just divide your code. Here is PyCharm and here is the terminal. It would be more easier than what you have now. Okay. Okay, so it's getting better, no? You are almost there.
I forgot.
What did you forget?
To remove the is perfect from the is prime.
That, yeah, more. Yes, you did, but I don't want this. What I want is this. The print like oops, A, B. So it should all be in the same line.
Yes.
So this is also missing, right? Okay, so how can we do that?
So I think that maybe somewhere this record the signs code, something like those compare, and then type something like and equals full size. I don't have to see already. Like,
I didn't understand very well what you were saying. Sorry.
because when you put this string, instead of the free line, when you put the string statement, and after all this after all these things that are required with this print statement, at the end we can add comma.
I don't know what you mean.
Because you want it to be in the
All in the same line.
Yeah.
The problem is that when you print, you change the line. You print and change line.
We can
So
make a list.
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying, but also because I couldn't understand very well. The masks don't help. What I would say is, the problem is that you are printing. So use the for loop to create, for example, a string, just the text. And in the end, you print everything together. But you need a text that keeps on growing. Okay. The print should be to the right-hand side. Sarah, what you are doing now, first, you don't need this string. That function string doesn't need to be there. You can just take it away because you are concatenating strings from colors are, so you don't really need it there.
I don't listen.
This part here, you don't need it. See, the str, you don't need the str function. You can just take it away. Okay, yeah. Now, if you do this, what you will have is text color being the variable of the last iteration. So you will only have the last iteration. What you need is that the text color has what is in the first iteration, then the second, and some more. So you just have to.
Like this?
It could be text color plus, and you don't need the brackets. That is for MATLAB. You don't need the brackets. You can just take away, yeah, like this. Or if you want, text color plus equal the other stuff. But like this, it works. So see if it works now.
Estava ali o terminal.
Yeah.
Agora ele estava ali. Pois é, não.
No, it works. The problem was that she is incrementing the string text color, but at the beginning, the string doesn't exist. So in the first iteration, you are going to do text color equals text color plus something. And text color does not exist, so you cannot use it. So you need to initialize text color to be an empty string. It's not a list, it's an empty string, so it should be text color equal plica. Yeah, like this, an empty string. Okay, now we have here the text in multiple colors, right? Nice, Sarah. You did it, and you are still alive, so congratulations. Okay, what else can I tell you to try to do? Let me see. So, exercício. So about exercise 5, what I did in 5, I think it was only 5A. So now perhaps we can go to exercise 5B. No, 5B I did, no? Yeah, 5C. Who is willing to try to do 5C here in front of us? Anyone? Sorry, it's not easy to program in front of everyone, right? Yeah, I know. It's not easy. It's like going to, como é que se chama aquele programa, o Joker? Isto aqui é muito difícil. Dizem sempre, não é? Em casa eu acertava tudo. It's like a quiz show, and the Portuguese contestants always say, at home I used to select all the right answers, and here I don't select any right answer. So it's the same as programming in front of everyone. So who is brave enough to go? Go ahead, Manel. Let's try to create a dictionary. 5C.
Sure. I don't really know how to start, but
okay, let's. I can help you.
Okay.
So we start from 5B. Let's start starting
Yes,
point.
sure.
Do you have the code for 5B?
Yes.
Can you run it so we can check if it works? Manel, whenever you, yeah, okay, nothing. I thought you shared only. Okay, color party, you guys.
This right?
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Now, the goal now is to change the representation. Instead of having a list, which you call total numbers and total others, right? No,
Yes,
not
exactly.
total, sorry. Pressed
Press
others and
numbers
pressed
and press
numbers.
others. Yes.
We should have a dictionary. Can you go to the, let's see, again, the PDF, not the PDF.
Okay. Here.
Yeah. Cria um dicionário apenas com os inputs other, em que as chaves são a ordem dos inputs inseridos e o valor são os inputs. So now we need a dictionary where the keys of the dictionary are the order by which inputs were inserted, and then you have the value. So the dictionary should tell us press key number 7 was a D, press key number 8 was a A, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So do you know how to start?
I'm not familiar with dictionaries, so.
I give you a crash course.
Okay.
So dictionary crash course coming up. So Python 3. So a dictionary in Python is when we use brackets. This will be an empty dictionary. So if you do type A, it is a dictionary. A dictionary is a set of pairs of keys and values. So for example, if you want to initialize a dictionary, you can do it like this, already with a key and value pair. For example, key 1, value 77. So my dictionary A right now only has one pair of key value. I could either look up, so I can read the keys of the dictionary, and this is fetching information, so this is reading, or I can write more keys. For example, I can say that A will have an additional key 2, which will be the text number. Okay, so now A contains 2 sets of pair keys values. Of course, you can edit the value of a key. For example, A of key 1 is now different. It was before 77, now it's 78. Okay? So brackets is for dictionaries. Square brackets is for lists. So for example, no, it's 2 different data types. A list is when you need a sequence of things. For example, B, or let me call LST for list, equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Now, this is a list. And I can, for example, in a list, I can go and fetch item number 3. It tells me it's number 4. So it starts with 0, 0. Item 0 is 1, item index 1 is 2, and blah, blah, blah. So this is a list. A dictionary is a different thing. It's a data structure where you don't have an order. So you don't have key 1 before key 2. They don't have an order. And you just put a set of values, which will be 78 or the text number, which are indexed by a key. It's like a map in C++. Do you have experience in C++? MATLAB. So MATLAB is a very simplistic programming language. So it doesn't have this kind. I mean, it does, but nobody uses it. So so these are lists and dictionaries. I would say try to read a little bit about dictionaries and lists. Okay. For example, in MATLAB. Oh, okay, I could try to start with MATLAB. Can you, for example, tell me how you go about storing in MATLAB the ages of everyone here? So let's see. We start with Sarah and Rafael. So we are going to put a list. And that will be Sarah has 22, Rafael has 33, Manel has obviously 89, and so on and so forth. And then you come to me, and so now you have the ages of everybody, okay? So this is your list. Now you ask my age, I will be the 5th element, and I say I will not reply. So how do you do this in MATLAB? You have a list where the first 4 elements are numbers, and then there is an element which is not a number. In MATLAB, this is not possible. In Python, it's okay. So you can have different types of elements inside the list. In MATLAB, you can use it. It's called cell array, and it's much harder than in Python. So, but this is a list. For the list, you need to know that Sarah was the first, Rafael was the second, Manel was the third, and so on and so forth. If you really want to store the information of the ages of all of us here in the class, perhaps it would be more adequate to have a dictionary. That way you would have the key, which would be the name of the person, and then the value, which would be the age. And then, for example, you would have here Rafael with age 33. And, oh, sorry, like this, 2 points, that's the syntax. And then you would come to me and with age none, okay? So 2 different types of data structures. In some cases, lists are more adequate, in other dictionaries, okay? You should read a little bit. Okay, so Manel, is the crash course enough? Do you know how to?
Yes, I have a question. Can a key have more than one value, or is it limited to one?
No, it's unique. So a key, but you can have multiple hierarchies. So for example, here I have Sarah, Rafael, Miguel, but suppose that for Fadi, he's going to tell us more than his age. He's going to tell us not only his age, but also his country. So therefore, we could, as the value of Fadi, not put a number, but another dictionary, which would have the age and also the country, let's say. Okay? Egypt, is it not? Okay. So now we have Sarah, Rafael, Miguel, all with values that are either numbers or nuns, but Fadi has a dictionary inside which contains more stuff, okay? So this is like a hierarchy. It could be also that Fadi has multiple ages, therefore it could have a list of ages. Oops, sorry, I need a comma. So the value of the dictionary can be anything, can be another dictionary, a list, a nun, a text, whatever you want, okay? Any more questions, Manel? Okay, so let's jump to you.
Okay, sure. So the objective was to create a dictionary. Okay, sorry. Share screen. Yes. So the objective was to create a dictionary with the inputs order, which are the order of the inputs, and the value are the inputs themselves. So I think we can divide this in 2. We can create the keys first and then figure out a way to create the values.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's only in others. So we can create.
Only there in this cell.
Yeah, we can use the total others to our advantage, because if it starts on 0, when you press the others, it goes up by 1. So it's the first one. So it's already the key, right?
Not really, because this order that I meant, I didn't mean the order of the others. I meant the order of any pressed key. For example, if I press A, B, 3, D, your dictionary should be Your dictionary should be the first thing that was inputted was an A. The second thing was a B.
And the
third and the fourth was a B. Yeah. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So we can create another counter. I think it's like.
You already have it. I think it's the counter there, no?
No, that one is for the colors.
Okay, sorry.
That's for a different thing. You can call it total pressed. Just copy and paste this here. Just replace it with pressed. Do the same here. Right. Sorry. Okay, now we can create a dictionary. Is there a formal way to create a dictionary?
So there are 2 ways of creating a dictionary. Like, for example, the name of the variable that contains a dictionary. So what you will do is you create, like you did with the lists, you will create an empty dictionary here. So okay, equals.
Something like this, right?
Like that. And now you add below.
Sorry?
Now there below, you will put a new key value, for example.
But should I append or should I just?
No, you just do like I did in the example. Just say press dict, then square brackets, the name of the key,
The name of the key. Okay. Sorry, the name of the key is total press, right? Equals the press key, right?
Exactly. You don't put a space
Between this, okay.
Makes sense, Manal? Now, can you print your dictionary in the end so we can check?
Sure, I can put it in. Should I add in here or should I?
Whatever you want.
I can create another print. Dictionary is, and then I can just, the name was pressed.
So what you are asking there with this instruction is to merge a string with a dictionary. So you have
I need
to convert the dictionary to
convert,
string.
yes, okay. So it should be something like this.
So on the fourth position, you have a J, on the fifth you have a D, and on the sixth you have a G. So it works.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, I can never look at the code without saying something. I think you already know this. So let me say something.
Sure.
So the thing that I wanted to say was, when you have an if-else if, the most clear way of doing things is that you put on the if, you put inside the if and the else only what is unique. So, for example, I say, if I turn to the right, I'm going to breathe and then go to the bathroom. If I turn to the left, I'm going to breathe and go to the stairs. So should I put breathe in the if and else if? No, because I'm breathing anyway. So that should be outside.
Something like this, right?
Yes, now I can breathe better. Yeah.
Okay.
It makes more sense, no?
Yeah, it makes.
Now, also, there is something in Python which is called enumerate, which is really helpful here, which is the problem that you had here was that you had a loop, in this case, a for loop. This for loop was giving you, what you needed was to not only iterate over the elements of the pressed keys, but you also needed to have a number which would tell you on which element index you were.
Yes.
What you do is, around this, you put something called enumerate. Can you put it there?
Yes, enumerate. Delete it,
Open
sorry,
bracket.
enumerate.
Press this, yeah, that's it. Now, this enumerate will pick up the list and return not only the element, which is the pressed key, but also something else, which is the index. So on the left-hand side of the pressed key, you should put index IDX pressed key on the left-hand side. IDX.
Index something like this, right?
Okay, so index pressed key. So now you have both the index as well as the element itself, and you don't need that counter because it automatically counts.
Okay.
Okay, try again, see if it works. Dictionary zero, it works, no?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But it's not, it's starting from 0 and not from 1. But
Yeah, that's a good thing in programming, we should always start by 0.
Okay, sure.
MATLAB is one of few that starts with 1. So we always
sure.
start with 0. It makes sense. What else? Any questions about what Manel did? No questions?
The point why you did the counter, this like can you read this part when you do
About the counter? Yeah. So, what Manel was doing before, it was he had to create a variable, which he called, I don't remember, count pressed something, I don't know. Yeah. So can you undo? Go back until that's safe.
Total pressed?
No, yeah, but go back until you remove enumerate. Okay, that's it. So you see here that he had to create a variable there, you see? Which then he had to increment, sorry, the variable was above, so somewhere there you have the press key, no? Yeah, so he had to initialize it and create it. Then inside the for loop, he has to increment it. And the way we could replace these two instructions with enumerate makes it much easier. So the enumerate will tell us, okay, I need to iterate this list, but I also need to know the index. And then use the index. So when you put enumerate around this, he got the press key, but also the index. So it doesn't have to do this line, nor the line above there, which he was declaring the variable, because the index variable, this idx, will already give you the numbers that you want. Do you get it, Farid? Okay. So go forward again, Manel, to see if Farid sees the difference.
Is it Control Shift Z?
Control Shift Z.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay, so now you see that line was removed, and it's just, he called it index press key. He put the enumerate and is using the index press key there. See? Okay. Any more questions? Okay, let's do the next one then. Here then the list. Okay, so who can do 5D, for example? Any volunteers? Thanks, Manel. Lucas, you want to do 5D? Okay, let's see. If you need some more time, okay, but if you want, I mean, the idea is not that you show the code already working, is that we do it with you. So it's better if you share, even if you don't have it complete. It's funny that you all prefer the black background. To me, white background is better. I see better. Yes, it is. But this is like a fashion. For example, when I started, just a parenthesis, Lucas. When I started and I used this for 2 or 3 years, the terminals were like this. Like, do you remember Matrix or not? There was a profile for Matrix. Where is it? Colors. Yeah, green on black. So this is the Matrix stuff. You see? But then, so I did this because it was really nice, but then I started not seeing very well what was there, so I had to go back. So the end of the style was, okay, now I have to go back actually. References, colors. Okay, Lucas, you can share while I go try to roll back my colors. Yeah, I'm here. So I use white on black, what is it? Yeah, no, black on white. Yeah. Okay, Lucas, you can share. So the 5D, for those of you who didn't translate, is about, so we have a list of numeric inputs in 5B. We already printed. Now we want to put it in order. So even if I type 987, I want that list to be 789. Okay, just sorting the list.
All right, running sessions. O valor dos inputs.
So Lucas, can you first try to show the code working? So let's see the list of numbers.
All right. A, B, C, D,
Okay, can you put a small terminal here in the bottom, because I have a bar here.
Okay.
Yeah, I have this hiding my zoom here, hides this part.
Could be like this.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah.
So I see there that we have only sorted, you entered 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So now I want you to be below that line the sorted numbers, right? Actually, they are already sorted, but we want to
Yeah,
sort
because I put it
Yeah, but next time you try with different orders, so we see the sorting works.
So it's just the numbers. I need to.
Yeah, just because you can sort characters, but it's easier to sort numbers. So just for this list of numbers, you need to sort it.
All right. So press numbers are here. After I put everything in this list, I need to sort it. So let me do it here.
Do you know how to sort?
No, I was.
You don't have to. I also wouldn't know. So when you don't know, Google.
Yeah, exactly. I was doing that. So
Always start with Python. Python sort list.
cars sort.
That's it. The answer was at the beginning. So cars is a list. If you
Yeah.
want to sort it, you just do cars dot sort and it's sorted.
Okay, so it's just press numbers, sort.
Exactly. And now you have to print the pressed numbers.
Yeah, so the is
Okay, makes sense.
so print press numbers. I think that's it. Press numbers. List is sorted is. Let me.
Right.
Okay.
Don't forget to type in an unsorted manner.
Yeah, I just put numbers. So
Okay,
yeah.
so the numbers are the keys you pressed are 7, 4, 6, 3, 2, 5, blah blah blah. The pressed numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it works. Now, what if I don't want the uniques? You see there we have 2 fours.
Yeah.
What if I want a single four?
Set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. The difference between
Yeah, I
a list
remember.
and a set is that a set contains no repetitions. So one way to go from a list that contains multiple repeated elements to a list that contains no repeated element is to go from that list to a set, and you throw away the repeated, back to a list. So if you go from list to the set to a set, then back to list.
So like
Set.
put
Yeah.
here and put list in the beginning as well.
I think you cannot do it all together because the sort. Yeah, you have to do it below in the next line.
Okay.
Now press
Set.
numbers.
I can put in other line or I can put.
No, you
in-
have to say press numbers equals set press numbers. And now you can say press numbers equals list of set of press numbers. You can put it all in one line if you want. The only thing you couldn't put in the same line is 70.
Okay.
Okay, so I think now it don't forget when you're typing, put some of the same numbers.
Let me
Actually, even better, Lucas, you should print the list before taking away the repetitions and the list after taking away the repetitions. So you should put
okay.
two prints,
Okay.
it's better.
Okay. So I take this out of here and put here and here. I can put. It's not third.
Yes, number 6 what it is. Without repetition is okay, good.
This press number, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so. Let's try it.
Because I use this the same variable. I was thinking.
You didn't have to. You could create a variable called pressed numbers, no repetitions if you wanted, but it's not a big deal.
Oh, it's okay. Just to show it. Let me try to put the same. It's 7, 4, 6, 3, 2, 4, 8.
Okay, so let me see.
I made the same list.
Okay, so the keys are 7, 4, 6, blah, blah, blah. Then you have the list with sorting and repetition, so 4 appears twice. And then you have the list
Yeah.
without repetition. Okay, it's not working because
I need to sort again.
I don't think so. I think I was telling you not to do it, but I think you need to sort it.
Let me try it. Press
I think you need to sort
sort.
again.
Okay.
I think it's because when you put it to the set, it loses again. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened, but I think now it will work. I'm not sure why it didn't keep the sorting, but anyways, try again.
4, 6, 3. Yeah.
Okay, now yes,
Now it's
now we
okay.
have an ordered list without repetitions. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are moving very fast. Let's go to the final exercise. 5B, thanks, Lucas. So, last chance for a volunteer. The last exercise, so please. You want to try it? You want to try it?
No,
You're still doing other stuff? And you are preparing some other stuff still?
it's like I am looking for this is like the lecture is a little bit fast. I didn't catch everything. Right now,
But I can help you if you want. If you want, you can check.
I need to prepare myself.
Okay, no problem.
And then I will ask you.
Okay, no problem. Okay. So, how about you? Any of you want to try 5B? 5B is difficult actually, because it's something you don't know about, but I can, well, I will show you if nobody volunteers. So for 5B, am I sharing my screen already or not?
No, it's me.
So I will share. So for 5E, the idea is to use list comprehensions. List comprehensions, I will give you a crash course on list comprehensions. So Python 3. So whenever we want to create a list, we do a for loop, for example, but we can also do something differently, which is, for example, when I do range, a list comprehension is, sorry, again, from the start. A list comprehension is a way to, in a single line, create a list. For example, if I start with brackets, square brackets, and I say x in range from 0 to 5, what will happen is that my x will be replaced by all values between 0 and 5. And all these values will be concatenated into a list because I have the square brackets on the side. So, sorry, for x in, like this. So x for x in range, blah, blah, blah. This will give me the list 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Now, this is a list comprehension, a very simple one, but I can do more complicated stuff. For example, I can put an if. For example, suppose that I want all numbers between 0 and 50, which are odd, not even, but odd. You know that odd numbers are those whose division by 2 results in a different than 0 remainder, right? So I can say that I want to include only if the remainder of the division by 2 is not the 0. Okay, this will give me the odd values. So until 50 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, and blah, blah, blah. Of course, if I want the even numbers, I just do like this. Okay, so you see that we could have solved the exercise of the prime numbers like this. We could, for example, if we wanted to, well, no, let's not complicate. Let's divide by x, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I was complicated. Let me not complicate because I want to focus on list comprehension. So this is the way to go about creating a list with some condition, if this and something else. For example, I can actually go through all numbers between 0 and 50, but only those numbers which are bigger than 20 are the ones that I verify this. So I can say if x smaller than 20, for those I will include anything. Or x bigger than 20, and for those I need to check that they are odd. So I'm going to take all numbers, and then from 20 onward only, in this case, even numbers. Let's see if it works. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 until 20, all of them, and then from there onward, only even numbers, okay? And that's it. This is the list, the basics of list comprehensions. You can also use them for dictionaries, but this is the most standard way of doing the lists. In this case, the exercise from 5e, it says that we could use list comprehensions to generate a list of numbers in a single code line. And the goal is to do 5b using a list comprehension. So 5b, let me remind you, was to create a list only with the numeric inputs. I'm not sure, I think you remember that what we did was that we went through all pressed keys, and in all these pressed keys, we tested if it was numeric. If it was, we included in the list, so we did this append. So a way to do this in a single shot, so list comprehension, pressed numbers would be, so I'm going to pick up all the values in the list, pressed keys. So all of these I will pick up, and I will only collect those which respect some condition. This condition will be that the x that I'm analyzing is actually numeric. Okay? So again, I will pick up all the x's in the pressed keys list, but not all, only those that respect this condition, which is that the x that I'm picking up is numeric. I can print this list so you see that it does actually the same, but all together in a single line. Sorry. Okay, so let's try. A1, B2, C3, D4, E5, X to stop. So the keys are blah, blah, blah. You entered 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the list comprehension for the detection of pressed numbers is this, okay? So with list comprehensions, we can also do a lot of stuff easily. And that's it. All the exercises are solved. Do you need anything, any questions? No? But this is going fast, so I should move faster then. If you are so silent, I think, I always have the feeling this is going slow if you are so silent. I can show you the assignment, the first assignment, which is coming up in 2 weeks. Not coming up, it is going to be delivered in 2 weeks, okay? So probably tomorrow or throughout the weekend, I will already publish the assignment. I will show you to you. Right now it's still, hidden, but I will. Okay, so this is part 3 will be for next week. I will also show this, okay? So here we are going to work with time, a bit with colorama and so on. And just thinking about classes, you will see, you have to study this part. Part 4 is the assignment. So the goal that we have is to develop something similar to a typing test. I'm not sure if you know what a typing test is. It's something like this, where you say, okay, I'm going to test for 1 minute, and I will start. And this is just to see if I am a good typer or not. So I start. Did you know? So you see that winds are generally silent, and so on and so forth. So you start typing, and in the end, it will try to create some statistics. It will tell you, oh, you have a good hit rate. So for example, you typed all the words correctly, and so on and so forth. You take a long time to type, or you are very fast. It depends. We are going to do something more smaller, not so complex, but the spirit is the same. So let me show you what I want you to do. So you are going to do a Python program which contains some command line arguments using the argparse, of course. We learned about it today. In this case, we have only 2 arguments, UTM, use time mode, and max value. And then when the program starts, I will push the video forward so you see. The program says, okay, I'm going to run for 10 seconds. You press a key when you want to start. Okay, so the user will press a key, and from there onward, for 10 seconds, the program will say, type something, type something, type something. And the user will reply by typing, okay, type letter T, type letter D, blah, blah, blah. So this is like a game that the user can do. Sorry, Fadi. The characters are randomized. So we are going to randomize to make the test fair. We randomize. And so here you see that it asked me to type letter E and I typed R. So this is a mistake. It immediately showed with not with green, but with red. So I know I made a mistake there. In the end, the program will have created a dictionary. You see, this is a dictionary because there is the brackets there. A dictionary containing many things, amongst them, the types that happened. So the types are a list of, these are named tuples, you will see next class. So you have a requested, so you know that what happened was that the program requested a T and it received the T after 98 seconds. It requested the D and received the D after 78 seconds. And so on. For example, this is a mistake. It requested an H and received the G after 1.2 seconds. In the end, the program should analyze this and provide several statistics: the accuracy, the number of hits, the number of types, the date, the duration of the test, and so on and so forth, okay? It's simple, it's nothing special. I'm not asking much more than I teach, okay? It's first project, yeah. This is quite simple. If you work on this, I'm sure you will. If you work on the classes, I'm sure you will know how to do this. So throughout this weekend, I should put this project up, next week's class, and also I will put the names of the groups, yeah, which are random. I think so, because then you will say, for example, if I try to cross with different practical classes, you might not have availability. So it's better that I randomize inside the same class. I think it's better. I will show you exercise, assignment number 2, which will be in some 4 or 5 weeks to deliver. So assignment number 3, so the goal of the course is to get to ROS, but to get to ROS, many of you don't even know Python, so it's impossible to get to ROS without knowing Python or Linux or this kind of stuff. So first we are starting with pure Python. We have this first assignment. Then we mix in OpenCV, and we have a second assignment. Only on the third part, which should be on week 7 or so, we are jumping to ROS. So part 7 is the second practical assignment. In this case, we are going to do a program in Python using OpenCV. OpenCV is a computer vision library. So we are going to do processing, image processing. Which images? The images that your desktop collects. So we are going to do a program that operates like this. Where is it? Yeah, here. Okay, so this is an example of the augmented reality paint. So I have a marker, which is my phone, with a red color, a red vivid color. So I'm going to use color detection, which is some kind of image processing, in order to detect where the red is in the image. It's like the traffic lights detection. And then you pick up the center of mass of this red color, for example. So now you have a coordinate on screen, which is the center of mass of the red color detection. And that would be like the virtual edge of a pencil. So you can use that to control a virtual pencil that will draw on a canvas. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so now I put my phone there. It will show me, it shows here the center of mass, which is oscillating a bit, but with it, I can draw by moving my phone. That's why I call this augmented reality paint, because we are doing a bit of reality, which is to control the pencil by moving, and the computer observes us. I think forward we will see a better example. Yeah, I'm explaining a lot and not drawing anything nice. Okay, now you see me drawing? So this is the second practical assignment. You will, for example, then you have many other stuff, minor details. For example, like changing the color of the screen, then doing some other stuff like changing creating an image, changing the width of the lines that you draw, this kind of stuff, okay? I think it's fun. You will have some fun doing it. After this, we go to Python, to Roche. After this, we go to Roche. And then we will have the third practical assignment, which is harder. We'll discuss it afterwards, I think. So, but now, this is to say that we are trying to move fast so that we get to Roche. And for that reason, don't forget to study quite a lot so that you don't lose the train. It's better to push a little bit now. Because in 2 weeks' time, you have to deliver a practical assignment, okay? That's it. I don't know. Do you need something else? I'm not sure what I should tell you about more. People down there at home, do you need something? Who is there? I think Rodrigo. I think Rodrigo, you are the only one who is there. No one else is.
Porque não deu para acompanhar em tempo real. Então, já vi que o Stu meteu a aula de manhã, por isso vou tratar disso depois. Para a semana não há dúvidas, ou não?
Okay, está bem, Rodrigo. Okay, so if you don't need anything else, we can go, I think. Let's finish the class for today. Don't forget to study. If you study, you will have more questions for sure. You are very quiet. Okay, so I'm going to shut down this Zoom session and see you next week. Okay, if any of you want to come to the class on Wednesday, you can also come. I mean, if you didn't have time to study and you need to study first, you can come on Wednesday, no problem. Okay? Tchau, Rodrigo. Vou desligar aqui o Zoom.
Ok, até para a semana.
Até para a semana.